Hi, my name is Bijal Shah and I am a bibliotherapist and founder of Book Therapy, a bibliotherapy and literary curation practice. I'm also the author of the book Bibliotherapy, The Healing Power of Reading. I curate book prescriptions and provide online training in bibliotherapy. More detail of this can be found on my website, www.booktherapy.io. In this podcast, I share my knowledge and research on bibliotherapy, including the latest developments, science, and book recommendations. Join me every week where we take a deep dive into bibliotherapy. We release 2 episodes a week. Voice notes from me, your resident bibliotherapist, and Ask the Bibliotherapist, book recommendations for what's on your mind. Join our member-only subscription here and get access to all episodes and corresponding transcripts. I hope you enjoy the show, and if you'd like a bibliotherapist in your pocket, you might find my book, Bibliotherapy, The Healing Power of Reading, a helpful companion. It's available at any bookstore that you shop at. And don't forget to subscribe wherever you listen to podcasts and get new episodes as they're released. And as always, I love hearing from listeners. So if you'd like to get in touch, share any book recommendations or thoughts on bibliotherapy, you can do so at bijal@booktherapy.io. Thanks for listening.
Hi everyone! In today's episode, I wanted to talk about my 10 most notable books of the year. I recently shared my top 40 best books of 2024 to read in 2025, and these ones were the most noteworthy of the bunch, which was an extremely tricky and difficult choice, given how much I loved each and every one of the 40 books. However, without further ado, here is the full list. So first on my list is a literary fiction book. This one is Intermezzo by Sally Rooney. This one's a poignant exploration of family, grief, and human connection, centered on 2 Irish brothers, Peter and Ivan Quebec. Following their father's death, the brothers grapple with their strained relationship, personal struggles, and the emotional weight of their past. Peter, a successful yet emotionally troubled lawyer, navigates his grief and complicated romantic entanglements with Naomi, a university student, and Sylvia, his first love. Meanwhile, Ivan, a socially awkward former chess prodigy, begins a passionate relationship with Margaret, an older woman working at a local art centre. The novel is structured innovatively with alternating perspectives. Peter's inner turmoil unfolds through a fragmented stream of consciousness style, while Ivan's chapters are narrated more traditionally. This contrast deepens the exploration of their sibling dynamics, touching on themes of masculinity, class, and privilege. Rooney's signature focus on intimate relationships is evident as she delves into both romantic and familial bonds with empathy and precision. Chess serves as a metaphor throughout, reflecting the strategic and sometimes unexpected moves in life and relationships. The title, Intermezzo, captures the idea of transitional movements both in the brothers' lives and in the broader themes of the narrative, offering a meditation on identity, memory, and the connections that sustain us. This is widely regarded as one of Rooney's most ambitious and mature works to date, blending psychological depth with a hallmark style of sharp dialogue and emotional realism. The next one on my list is another literary fiction book, Playground, by Richard Powers. Richard Powers' Playground is a richly layered novel that explores the intersection of humanity, technology, and the environment. The story revolves around Todd Keene, a 57-year-old tech visionary diagnosed with Lewy body dementia, who reflects on his life and the creation of his groundbreaking social media platform, Playground. Todd narrates his bond with Rafi Young, his childhood friend and fellow Go enthusiast, as they navigate a world increasingly dominated by technology. The novel intertwines Todd's journey with other narratives, including the fate of a French Polynesian island grappling with industrialization, the underwater explorations of Evelyn Beaulieu, and the artistic pursuits of Ina Arota, who transforms oceanic waste into sculptures. These interconnected stories delve into themes of ecological impact, neocolonialism, artificial intelligence, and human relationships. With Powers' signature poetic prose and complex structure, the novel challenges readers to consider the implications of humanity's actions on the planet and each other. While dense and nonlinear, it is celebrated for its profound insights and imaginative vision. The next genre that I focus on is science fiction and fantasy, and for this one I have The Mars House by Natasha Pilley. This one's a politically charged science fiction novel set on a terraformed Mars, where Earth refugees face discrimination and compulsory assimilation. The story follows January Sterling, a former ballet principal and now a refugee on Mars, grappling with the oppressive naturalization procedures that strip Earth's immigrants of their physical strength to align with weaker Mars native physiques. When January's conflict with Senator Aubrey Gale, a staunch advocate for these policies, escalates, a political stunt forces them into a tense, arranged marriage. The novel explores their relationship amidst growing social and political unrest, including power struggles over resources, environmental crises, and Mars autonomy. It balances intense moral debates on privilege, identity, and survival, with moments of personal tenderness and growth. Pilley uses the speculative setting to examine issues like immigration, gender constructs, and caste, interwoven with a suspenseful plot and layered character dynamics. Though some readers found parts of the narrative slow and the resolution somewhat contrived. Next, my best young adult pick is The Glass Girl by Kathleen Glasgow. The Glass Girl is a poignant young adult novel that delves into themes of teenage alcoholism, grief, and the journey toward recovery. The story follows 15-year-old Bella Leahy, who turns to alcohol as a way to numb the pain stemming from her parents' divorce, the death of her grandmother, and social struggles, including a painful breakup. Bella's struggles are depicted with unflinching honesty as she grapples with addiction and the toll it takes on her relationships and sense of self. The narrative captures Bella's internal conflict and a battle to reclaim her life, offering a raw yet hopeful exploration of how trauma can push someone to the edge and what it takes to find a path back. Kathleen Glasgow's evocative prose provides a deep, empathetic look at the complexities of teenage experiences. For readers who appreciate stories about personal growth and recovery, this novel is a powerful and relatable exploration of healing and self-discovery. My favorite LGBTQIA+ book this year was Small Rain by Garth Greenwell. Small Rain explores profound themes of love, mortality, and resilience through the lens of a narrator experiencing a serious medical crisis during the COVID-19 pandemic. Set primarily in a hospital, the novel uses the physical and emotional challenges of illness as a gateway to reflect on the fragility of the body, the unexpected intimacy of care, and the enduring power of relationships. Greenwell's lyrical prose intricately weaves the narrator's memories of his partner of his childhood and of life with the stark immediacy of his present ordeal, creating a contemplative and deeply moving narrative about finding grace in suffering. I always love discovering new books written in other languages which have English translations. And this year I was so happy when Gabriel Garcia Marquez's last novel, translated by Anne McLean until August, was going to be published posthumously. It's actually a very short novel that explores a complex inner life of Anna Magdalena Bach, a woman who, despite being happily married with children, visits an island each August where her mother is buried. There, for one night each year, she takes a new lover, seeking a brief escape from a carefully constructed life. Set against the backdrop of sultry tropical weather and the transient nature of hotel guests, Anna's annual ritual becomes a journey deeper into her own desires and the underlying fears she harbors. She grapples with the emotions of freedom, regret, and love. Marquez's story is a sensual exploration of the tensions between personal freedom and the attachment that shape one's life, offering a profound meditation on the mysteries of the human heart. Now, I'd like to focus a little bit on nonfiction. So for these, I have the following. For the best business book, my most notable pick was Women, Money, Power: The Rise and Fall of Economic Equality. This one explores the economic journey of women over the last century, charting the progress, setbacks, and ongoing challenges women face in achieving economic equality. The book examines key historical shifts from early labour movements and the impact of women's suffrage to post-World War II economic policies that led to more women entering the workforce. The feminist movements of the 1960s and 70s and the modern-day wage gap and issues with workplace power dynamics. Authored by experts in gender and economics, the narrative also covers the systemic barriers women have confronted, including discrimination, lack of representation in leadership, and the motherhood penalty. Additionally, it delves into the policies and social reforms that have aimed to support or hinder women's economic empowerment. Through a combination of data, personal stories, and analysis, Women, Money, Power highlights both the advances made and the complex structural forces that continue to perpetuate economic disparities between men and women. Ultimately, the book serves as a call to action, urging readers, policymakers, and business owners to acknowledge the unfinished work in achieving economic equality and to champion further change to build a more equitable economic landscape for women. Next, my favourite psychology read of 2024 was The Anxious Generation: How the Great Rewiring of Childhood is Causing an Epidemic of Mental Illness by Jonathan Haidt. This one examines the steep decline in adolescent mental health that began in the early 2010s. Haidt investigates how the rise of smartphones and social media, combined with a reduction in free play and increasing parental supervision, has fundamentally altered childhood development. This shift, which he terms the Great Rewiring, is linked to rising rates of depression, anxiety, self-harm, and suicide among teens, particularly girls. Haidt explores various mechanisms contributing to this crisis, such as sleep deprivation, addiction, and heightened social comparison, and proposes practical solutions parents, schools, and tech companies to mitigate these negative effects. There were a few quotes that I loved in the book, and I just wanted to share them here. Firstly, my central claim in this book is that these two trends, overprotection in the real world and underprotection in the virtual world, are the major reasons why children born after 1995 became the anxious generation. People don't get depressed when they face threats collectively. They get depressed when they feel isolated, lonely, or useless. As the Stoics and the Buddhists taught long ago, happiness cannot be reached by eliminating all triggers from life. Rather, happiness comes from learning to deprive external events of the power to trigger negative emotions in you. Experience, not information, is the key to emotional development. Now, for someone who is an avid traveller, I had to pick something in the travel section. I have often found travel incredibly therapeutic, so when this book came along, it was music to my ears. Why We Travel by Ash Bhardwaj. Work Travel is an insightful and engaging book that delves into the reasons behind our urge to explore the world and the profound impact travel has on our lives. It uses travel as a powerful lens to examine human motivations and the ways in which stepping into the unfamiliar can shape our perspectives and enrich our understanding of ourselves and others. Through a blend of personal stories, captivating travel narratives, scientific research, and thoughtful advice, the book explores journeys that range from daring adventures to quiet introspections closer to home. Each chapter focuses on one of 12 core reasons why people travel: curiosity, inspiration, happiness, creativity, serendipity, hardship, service, healing, wonder, empathy, eroticism, and hope. By uncovering the deeper meaning behind these motivations, Why We Travel invites readers to reflect on the role travel plays in their lives. It challenges us to think about how we can travel with more intention, experience the world more meaningfully, and use these experiences to live with greater fulfillment. And lastly, something a little different to finish with. I loved Africali. Recipes from My Jikoni by Ayo Balogun. Having grown up in both Kenya and having lived in San Francisco for a while, when this book came along, I was delighted. A vibrant cookbook that explores the fusion of African and Californian cuisines. The term jikoni refers to the Swahili word for kitchen, and the book reflects the author's journey of blending traditional African flavors with the fresh, innovative ingredients and cooking styles of California. The cookbook features a variety of recipes that celebrate the diversity of African cuisine, with a particular emphasis on dishes that highlight the warmth and richness of African ingredients. It also incorporates influences from the author's experiences of living in California, creating unique dishes that are both accessible and deeply rooted in cultural traditions. Ayo Balogun's approach is both personal and celebratory, as she shares recipes for everything, from hearty stews and vibrant salads to spiced meats and decadent desserts. Through these recipes, she invites readers into a kitchen to explore the flavors that shape her identity, bridging two continents with every dish. I hope it inspires some festive cooking over the holiday period. That's it. Those are my top 10 notable books of the year. If you'd like to read the full list, you can find them here in the show notes or transcripts, or on the Book Therapy blog on our website, www.booktherapy.io/blogs. I hope you enjoyed this selection of my 10 most notable books of the year, and let me know what were your most noteworthy reads. Until next time, stay well.
Thank you for listening. I hope you enjoyed the show. And if you'd like to sign up to our online courses or try a personalised book prescription or bibliotherapy session, you can do so following the links in the show notes. And as always, I love hearing from listeners. So don't hesitate to drop me an email at bidgel@booktherapy.io.